Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 227 for the week of September 15th, 2015. I'm your host, Ryan Higgins, and I have no headphones this episode, so hopefully everything sounds okay. It's weird. It's weird recording this without headphones on. Our headphone.
You know, you can just put the headphones on.
But then I couldn't hear anyone. Our headphone jack broke right before we went to record, so if this episode sounds worse than normal...
it's Higgins' fault.
That might be why.
Fault.
Who's here this week?
Frog Sager.
Congratulations, Ryan Higgins!
You're not Ryan Higgins. I'm Ryan Higgins.
I say congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Why are you saying congratulations, Toby?
Because the mighty Ryan has gotten married this past week.
It happened. It happened.
I saw it with my own eyes.
You were there. Although you showed up. You showed up, I don't want to say late, but I was like, oh, there's a couple of people missing. Where's Toby?
Oh.
And then you were there, and I was like, oh, excellent.
I couldn't find my shoes. I don't normally wear normal shoes or dress shoes. And as I was leaving the house, I realized I didn't have them. And then I had to look in the garage, and we're not there.
Oh, jeez.
Then I looked in my room, they were not there. I looked everywhere in the house for them and couldn't find them just to realize they were in my trunk the entire time.
So we started the ceremony at 3. We started having people show up at 3:30, which means people showed up at 3. And the ceremony wasn't until 4:30, and people were like, oh, we thought it was at 3:30. We're like, no, we told people to show up at 3:30. Ceremonies, we got to make sure everyone's here first.
I carpooled with Lane, and of course, he's late because of me. And when we arrived, it was close to 4 o'clock, and he was like, I wonder if they started at 3:30. Like, you know, normal weddings, you show up early and they start right on time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think Ryan knows his friends better than that.
Yeah, hey, that's why we told people to show up at 3:30, and we'd start at 4:30, because yes, then people... So, like, people showed up, and I was... You'll hear some of this on the Geekbox when it goes this week, too, but, like, Ryan Scott showed up, and I was in my shorts and a t-shirt still setting stuff up.
What?
Because we were, like, early? He showed up, like, 3 o'clock, but, like, to the minute we were still doing stuff.
Well, you also told people to get there early because parking might be a little bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but I think it was all right.
My parking spot was prime.
I was like, that jerk-off's got to be Brock parking in the middle of the hill.
I told Brock, I'm like, yeah, there's like a little hill trail thing. Just park there if you can.
Dude, I was so going to tell Lane to block you. I was like, dude, just park right in front of him. Screw that guy. But I think Lane was worried that you just drive over his little tiny car.
Yeah, I probably would have.
Well, yes. So, yay. I joined the ranks of the married. A very super nerdy wedding. Lots of friends.
It was very super nerdy. It was kind of funny seeing the normal people rolling their eyes by all the nerd references and comic book references.
Yeah, we had to tell the officiant. So the guy that married us was Leanne's teacher at San Jose State. He runs the art program there.
Good.
He's Dave's an amazing guy. He's so funny. And he's married off a lot of his former students.
Yeah.
And so...
Send him off and then marry him off.
Yeah. When he, we approached him initially and he gave us a list. He gave us like a kind of what he was going to say about a week before.
Is that normal? I always thought that was a surprise what he was going to say.
Well, he was just going to say it, but then he said, hey, let me run this by you. It's going to be a little long. I have a few options. Tell me what you want. No, normally, I mean, you know exactly. We didn't do like a full rehearsal or anything beforehand, so we were kind of winging it.
But no, just usually do they tell you what they say?
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought there was a... Like, I'm going to tell something. Do you guys want to know?
No, it's all scripted.
Yeah. But for this, so he gave us a couple options. We had to go to him and say, hey, man, maybe a few less comic book references, like...
Well, you made Bryce's day. It was his best day ever. He was yelling out, best wedding of all time. Of course, his wife is sitting right next to him, but he was yelling, best wedding of all time.
Well, we quoted the epic X-Men number 30 marriage of Jean Grey and Cyclops, cute. So that was fun.
Cute. I think Bryce got teary-eyed there.
Yeah, that was fun. We, talked to... In our vows, we talked about video games and amiibos and Disney pins
and mint condition.
And so
that was
I heard.
Okay,
I heard that. Now I had no idea what Liam was going to say going into this, right? So those we didn't know. Yeah, we didn't share each other vows. I heard a certain customer, a certain friend who's also been in this podcast. When she described our relationship as near mint, or I can't remember exactly what she said. Yeah. When you're up there, it's it's hard to pay. Not that it's hard to pay attention, but there's so many things.
You're just
going
trying
on.
not to piss yourself.
Yeah. It's tough time. So when she said like, oh, our relationship is near mint or something like that.
It's not perfect, but at least it's near mint.
Yeah, but I remember one of our good friends, I guess that was what put him over the edge, and I was like, oh, good, a nice near mint comic book reference.
I think it put a lot of people over the edge. It was cute.
Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, I've been in some serious weddings, and we didn't want that.
I have to say, though, so I looked over to your family table, right? And it wasn't your family member, but there was one lady, and she just rolled her eye. I was like, I started laughing at that point. I told my family, and we told our family ahead of time, like, this is not religious, this is not traditional, like, we're here for our friends, we're here for ourselves. Especially when you guys were listing off things, and they're like, I like you better than this. Yeah. I like you better than my most famous amiibo.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been to some really serious weddings and long Catholic weddings, and like really just like,
oh man, those go on forever.
Well, just like emotional weddings where just everyone's crying, and like that's just not me.
Wait, people cry at weddings?
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't.
That's
I'm
just
a cold, heartless bastard.
That's just not. Oh, my recording thing's been weird. Yeah, that's just not me. I'm not. I want it to be fun. We want it to be funny. We want it to. Yeah. So I hope you guys.
Of course, the conspiracy table is the loudest table there is.
Oh yeah. I think
apparently the podcast came up during your wedding too.
Well, the officiant, he was talking about the you own a comic book store and a podcast and everything. So
with your sister, who's in a different state.
Oh, no, it's not a different state. No, she's here.
She's the LA one. Okay.
This wasn't in the wedding ceremony or anything. But my sister, who Toby has, some fascinations. That I have two sisters.
Finally got to meet Ryan's sister and your dad. That was awesome. They're all real. I shook your dad's hand.
They are real.
They're all real. They exist.
My sister Colleen, who's a college professor down in the greater Los Angeles area, apparently one of her students listens to either this podcast or the Geek Box. I wasn't quite sure which.
Probably not this one.
But she was like, one of my students came up and said, like, she was talking about how how she's a teacher, my other sister's a lawyer, her
So wait, you got a teacher and a lawyer and a comic book store.
Well, her thing was like, what she was talking about was that in our family there's always been reading. Okay. Our grandmother was a teacher. She always stressed reading. My mom's a teacher and administrator. My sister's a teacher. My other sister's a lawyer. I own a comic book store. It's all reading, right?
I mean, that's
reading
cool.
has just been family, this thing in the family, it's very, very important.
It's ingrained in your DNA.
Yeah, it is. It always has been. And
except when it comes to actual books for you.
I've read many actual books, just not as much time these days. But they, I guess one of the students, when she mentioned that, was like, she's like, what's your brother's name? Oh, you wouldn't. She was like, oh, you wouldn't know him. He's up in Northern California, and he's like, well, what's his name? Oh, Ryan Higgins. Oh, I listened to the podcast. Yeah, I totally know who he is. And she was really freaked out by that. So hello, if you are listening to this podcast, and you know my sister. So yeah, very funny. Found out my mom's favorite song is California Love.
Oh, that was one of my highlights, seeing you bob to that song. I was like,
Toby's favorite.
From afar, I was like, Cali Love is coming on. And I looked over right through the middle of the dance floor, and I saw Ryan Higgins dancing. I was like, my God.
Hell yeah.
Hell just froze over. And then Ryan Higgins tells me that's your mama's favorite song.
It is.
I was like,
I got a 7-minute
someone in your family at least has good taste in music. So obviously it's not a family thing. It's just you, Ryan.
Bryce was fascinated to learn that a good number of the Higgins can dance pretty decently. My sister was out there a little bit. I don't know. I was out there doing my goth dance for some of the stuff. So
and as
lower tier goth
Scott
dance.
Che, as he put it, the duty schoolboy shuffle or whatever. When you were talking to your dad, you kept it going on. It's cool.
Yeah, always going. The bumper of the party, Mr. Brock Sager.
Yeah.
His girlfriend, looking beautiful, sitting over there.
She was?
Telling him to dance. Brock's like, no, I'm going to sit in the corner and not dance.
I'll talk about Hearthstone.
Dance.
Come on, Brock.
I don't dance.
You're free, you don't dance.
He's in full nerd mode. No, I don't want to dance. I want to stand in the corner and talk about Hearthstone to Bryce.
No, I just don't dance.
Oh, no,
Come on,
Scott,
son.
Let me, Scott, let me tell you about Hearthstone. Look, here's my app. Let me open it up, and look, here's these buttons you can press.
Oh, sorry.
When one of your
I didn't know answering a question for somebody I haven't seen in a while, and catching up was a bad thing.
When one of your best friends is dancing, when your girlfriend's dancing, you gotta dance, dude. You gotta just dance, man.
Yeah, no.
Just dance. We're all terrible and white, and we all look horrible out there, and it's the greatest thing. You just gotta
I'm only
do it,
half
man.
white, dude. Let's get it straight.
No.
Why? You're no
If
fun.
Steph was dancing, you had to.
Dude, Seth always dances. Like, yeah, oh
Does he
yeah,
really?
Oh yeah.
Go
Yeah, our
Seth.
friend Seth, yeah, he likes to dance. So
Sorry.
why?
Being a bounce for ears just beat it out of me.
Oh, all right. Well, girlfriend tells you to dance, you get to dance, bro.
Fiance.
That's how it works.
Well, I'm correcting you over and over again.
What's that?
My fiance.
Okay, that she's also your girlfriend.
I know.
And when they tell you to dance, you get to dance.
It's okay.
You get to dance at your wedding?
Yes, probably because I'll have a lot of booze.
Well, we had a good time. So,
Excellent.
I also liked it when we got the initial talk that he had some the officiant put like some fairly typical wedding stuff for Leanne to say during the vows, and then for me, of course, he adapted the Green Lantern Oath.
Oh, that was dude.
And props to Leanne for letting that ride, because that was great.
Charlie was crying at that point, man.
Well, you could tell our friends were on the outsides. Leanne's friends were kind of on one side. My friends and kind of customers, and my friends were on the other side. And down the middle, we had like family and kind of longer term friends and kind of other acquaintances.
Well, on your side, you had kind of like your family table, your high school table, your
podcast table,
your podcast, the Geekbox table, and then you had your club table.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty interesting because you kind of islanded them all together.
Yeah.
Well, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we wanted, on
because
Leanne's
they
side.
all know each other, and
right?
Yeah.
On Leanne's side, very similar thing: work and school, and friends from different relationships. So, but you could tell the outside tables were laughing at everything or going woo, at all the right times, and like the tables up front with all our family were like, "The hell are they talking about?" but that's me. So.
I flew out for this shit.
Oh no, they all loved it. They all loved it. So
there was a big Man of Steel conversation at our table.
So I heard about this.
Oh, it went on, and
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I think the trailer ignited some conversation topics, man. Yeah.
Was Bryce in typical Bryce form?
He was in typical Bryce form, and, the conversation was what Marvel movie is better than Man of Steel. And I'm in the minority, of course, because I could list quite a few of them. And yeah, there was a lot of discussion. I'll say discussion.
I heard
probably got a lot louder than discussion.
I heard our good friend Gage, who's been on this podcast a long time ago, was saying the Man of Steel was better than Avengers, and I heard that set Bryce off.
Oh yeah, I high-fived him on that one because I agree. I fully agree on that one. But yeah, that led through probably a couple hours of back and forth between the table, and we luckily all went home alive and not stabbed and didn't poke each other's eyes out or ate anybody. So I think we're all fine.
Well, it's a good wedding when no one dies.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Charlie and I discussed that we need to do a Patreon for the hashtag Team Bryce and hashtag Team Ryan shirts.
Oh, geez.
For this, so you can pick your side. Right.
I think we're going to sell a lot of Bryce shirts, but they're all wrong.
Whatever side wins, we all lose. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys had fun. And Bryce and Charlie, who are out this week, they were there as well. So maybe they'll share some thoughts next week. I know Bryce said he had a few things to say. So fortunately, he couldn't make it this week, but maybe next week.
It was I had a really, really good time, I have to say. It was an excellent wedding. Everything was just right. Yeah, it was like total laugh.
Well, like I said,
even though the heated Man of Steel discussion, it was very fun and jabby. And
the vegan ham was really good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. Everybody didn't know about it. I knew right away when Leanne said we're gonna have vegan ham. I was like, yeah, I know exactly where that's from.
Vegan ham.
Yeah, because you buy them at the 9 Ranch store and you cut them in pieces, and it's excellent food.
Yeah, I mean, we had about 15% of the people there were vegetarians or vegans.
I think that's been my favorite wedding food ever, all time. All that fancy smancy shit. I mean, like, it's cool, but that table or your dinner, I had a full plate and I ate everything, man.
Toby was like really at the buffet.
Yeah, I was.
Well,
that was excellent.
It was Sizzler days.
Yeah, when we did this, we said, we've all had bad catered wedding food that just like it's whatever.
Well, it's
fine.
not bad, but the fancy stuff sometimes too fancy for me.
Well, sometimes but I've had
it simple.
I've had a lot of just bad wedding food where it's just kind of like, well, it's fine. It's just whatever, just plain. So we're like, no, we're doing, like brunch buffet. Yeah. We're doing like, a lot of breakfast food, a lot of just simple, but you could just get a ton of it.
I was just surprised there was no cereal.
Oh, that would have been me.
You should have done that.
No, Leanne wanted her favorites, and I was like, yeah, I love all this stuff too, so perfect.
Yeah, no, it was real, real good.
Yeah,
the bartenders were really cool. I like them. I had a lot to drink.
Well, Dave and Larry, they're customers here.
Oh, okay.
And they manage Trials Pub in downtown San Jose. So
I was supposed to meet them when we were at some convention. Forgot which convention.
Big wow.
Yep, that's them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep. So
Very
shout out to Larry and Dave.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
Yeah, Callie said we might use them as our bartenders.
Yeah. No, they're fantastic. So
excellent.
Super nice guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
a lot of rum and coke. I think at one point they asked me if I was drunk. Not them, but other people at the table. I'm like, I haven't even started yet.
Jeez.
It was quite a good day.
Well, we do have some random comic news to talk about. We'll do some questions. I got a game I want you guys to play. Do you want to play a game?
Sure.
And actually...
Is that a War Games reference?
Yeah. This may become a recurring segment because I kind of like it.
Okay.
Well, let's start with a couple news stories.
Here for this.
Who suffers the most from this segment?
No one. No, it's fun.
Okay.
Let's start
Probably it's me.
Well, I'll explain it when we get to it. Let's start with some bad news here.
Bad news.
Cancellations, delays. There's a lot of stuff coming back.
Let's do the cancellations first.
DC. We talked about this a few weeks ago.
I thought you were going to mention Moses Malone, Legend died. That's bad news. Cancellations of comic books? Come on, man. That's normal news at this point.
It is normal news, unfortunately. A couple weeks ago, they talked about we talked about there being some rumors of DC canceling some comics to fit more a quote unquote meat and potatoes, as Bleeding Cool described it, kind of style. We've seen like the return of the big DC crossover coming up. They're doing the Robin War, so that's going to cross over through a lot of the Bat titles, which is a little more. We haven't seen
the one book I'm reading from DC is going to be in a giant crossover.
Yeah. We haven't seen too many of these recently, but we did learn that they are going to cancel a number of titles, including Justice League United, the third attempt at another Justice League book that just doesn't last for whatever reason. Gotham by Midnight, which was, unfortunately, that was a fun title. It was cool.
It was good.
Lobo and Doomed. No real surprise with either of those.
Lobo, no surprise. Doomed, I mean, the title says it all.
Yeah. And the big one that a lot of people are upset about, although probably not that many because really no one was reading it, is one we've talked about here a lot on the podcast, and that is the Omega Men. Scheduled for a 12-issue run. They're canceled after only 7, which is very, very poor sales.
But if it's 12 issues, it's like finish.
The sales were apparently
that bad,
dropping issue to issue really bad. And for us, it was a rare one of these new DC books where sales picked up. Okay. I actually had reordered 2 and 3. I bumped my numbers on 4 and 5. Okay. But just not enough. This is nothing new. This is the way comics are now. But
I just hate that for the people that actually are reading it or buying it.
Yeah,
it's always too bad. Like when they actually have a finished finite number plan and it doesn't even make it there.
Yeah, I know.
Well, at least they didn't put the numbering on it, like 1 of 12.
Yeah, but also in order to get slightly away from again some more. As it was described, Batgirling of the comics, Catwoman, which has had a very critical success.
It's been really good. In
this recent arc, unfortunately not a sales success. Catwoman has a new creative team of the writer Frank Terry, who Anika Miranda is doing the art, who's an amazing artist, so I'm very excited for that. Frank Terry is okay. I mean, he's just kind of run-of-the-mill DC mid-tier Bat guy. He's done a lot of offshoot Batman titles through the years. But they're nixing the mob story, just boom, back to Cat Burglar, back to normal Catwoman. They're sidelining her right back to where she the classic take on the character, which for some people may be cool, but again, the point was
one is the one where she is Penguin, or is that done already?
No, so Catwoman in the New 52 was very sexually charged, very fun, very just energetic.
That's the early stuff. Yeah.
That's the early stuff. And then it suffered through crossover syndrome with Death of the Family and all that stuff. And then it dumped into the Joker's daughter stuff, which was atrocious.
That was by
Ann
Nassetti. Her run, which was that's when I stopped reading it. So
and then they finally got rid of Nassetti and put Valentine on it, and that stuff's been amazing. With
is that the one where she's kind of like Penguin?
Yeah.
The one where
she's like running the mob.
Yeah, she runs the Calise family. I can't remember the name of the crime boss family, but yeah, no, it's been great. The Futures End issue tied in with what was going on in there. Batman Eternal tied in with what was going on in there.
Yeah,
I've really been enjoying it.
Tied in with Batman Eternal.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, it's sad to see them nix on some of these already. A couple of them.
The mob storyline was actually pretty good.
Oh no, it's great.
Yeah,
it's been really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of people worried about a couple of these other titles like Dr. Fate, which has been a good critical success. Prez, which again they've said is going to be two 6-issue miniseries, but hopefully we see that second 6-issue miniseries.
Better.
Even in the solicitations, Green Lantern Lost Army not in the solicitations. Could be a skip month. Doesn't happen often, but it's possible. But weird that it would just not. They would say anything about it.
It's kind of like in this like TV show way of doing comic books now. If it doesn't right away, that we're cutting him off.
Well, again, creators are paid more, costs are up. So many books are being published.
Yeah.
If a book isn't a hit right away, there's not. We see this. Marvel has books come and go so quick. Rocket Raccoon, Groot, those came and went so fast, right? Yeah. They've canceled. Marvel's done this as well. DC's done this all through the New 52. It's
just harder for a fan. I think
it's tough to get 12, 18, even 12 issues, let alone 18 or 24.
Well, I think it's one of those things where the earlier stuff like Sword of Sorcery.
Yeah.
That we knew was 8. They hoped would go longer, but it went 8 issues. 8 issues felt like it was long enough. Right, like as long as I think the story can be told in whatever amount of books it comes out and not feel rushed.
Well, we talked about this that there are more people reading comics than ever, but the sales on a lot of them aren't great. There's the top tier, and then everything else kind of below it. There's no that middle class of comics is kind of gone.
Do you think those people are actually reading the classics as opposed to new stuff?
No, I think what's happening is that. Very few people read 20 comics a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people are reading 1 or 2, if that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I think the vast majority of sales, so again, books like Prez, it's not the guy buying every Batman title that's buying Prez. The people buying Prez are buying Prez and probably some image stuff, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
I really do believe that's a good chunk of those sales. So it is it's difficult because it's not... It's impossible for the companies to track again because we're I am the customer of Marvel and DC and my customers are my customers.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that a lot of the people buying those books are not necessarily buying the more traditional titles. So there's the split between the indie work and the more mainstream superhero work.
Yeah.
There's some crossover, obviously, but a lot of the people are buying very different things. And so DC may be attempting to switch back to a stricter, bigger superhero crossover event focus, which is the superhero bread and butter.
I think the disappointing thing is it's been 4 months.
Right.
Well,
they have, and that's the thing. So issue number 2, I think, of Omega Men was like at 17,000, and issue 3, I don't remember all the numbers, but it's, under 20,000 is cancellation territory, and when issue number 2 was already cancellation territory, there's nothing.
Makes sense.
The other thing is you have to
for Marvel and DC. Though.
Well, the thing is, they also gave the first issues kind of the returnability thing, so stores were probably buying an inflated amount of those.
Right, but what I'm saying is that if there were a ton of reorders in number 2, then it wouldn't have been canceled. But I guarantee you there wasn't. And so people may have been complaining left and right about them canceling Omega Men, but the honest answer is that it's only a handful of a couple thousand people that are buying it. And this is what I say every week, all the time. Pre-order. Tell the stores you want these books. If they don't have them, tell them to reorder them. If they can't get them, find another store that has them. I'll order you any comic I can if you can't find it. Pay for this stuff because you may be mad that it's canceled, but if you're reading it on Scans Daily, if you're reading it online, you don't count. It doesn't. Your opinion is invalid. Pay for these books. Even digitally, I definitely support digital, but there's a lot of talk that digital's kind of peaked at about 10% of physical sales. Mm-hmm. They look at those physical numbers way more than digital numbers.
Yeah, makes sense.
I believe.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
I mean, I looked at my stack today, and a lot of the books are 5-10 years ago wouldn't be my traditional books. Actually, I mean, I got Black Canary, Bizarro. The new Remedier book by Image.
Tokyo Ghost.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it, but I kind of flipped through and I was like, okay, I think that's my cup of tea.
And you're not buying Batman, you're not buying Superman, you're not buying Action Comics, you're not
weird.
buying...
And those are actually my, bread and butter at one point, right? And I kind of veered away from it, and I think it was because of event fatigue and losing track of where I was. I mean, you know me, man. I have stacks and stacks of Batman and Gambit books I haven't even read yet because I lost track of them, right? It's like, for me, it's easier at this point to collect the 3-4 random, I call them random books, right? That'll support, and then all the other big ones, I call them, I just buy them in trade form because it's easier to figure out where I was.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? Is you have a lot of people that are sticking to the smaller titles and the more independent-friendly titles.
Yeah,
and the more,
I feel like
I don't
those
want to say casual in
yeah.
a bad way, but much more casual
No, but I feel
titles.
like those titles also need to support more than anything.
They do.
So I put my money there, and then on the big titles, I read them in trade or hardcovers because I feel like it's easier to follow. A storyline's easier to follow. I don't have to, I'm not missing an issue here and there, or, because I'm actually still, backtracking. I'm still trying to finish the Brewbreaker run and Cat on the omnibuses, so I'm still behind.
Yeah. But, there,
I got a Giant Days in there.
Yeah. The Boom Book.
Yeah.
There's every book get canceled, every run ends. It's rare that people are on books more than a couple years. It just seems like things go pretty quick these days, but enjoy the books you like and try to support them as much as you can. There will be more titles. So,
by chance, I started watching We Bare Bears. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What is it?
It's We Bare Bears. It's these 3 bears.
It's a grizzly bear, a polar bear, and a panda bear.
Yeah. Well, the polar bear calls themselves the Ice Bear.
Ice bear, yeah.
Yeah. It's these short stories about these 3 bears that live in San Francisco and they acclimated with human world, and it's really, really funny.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, and it's based on a webcomic. Yeah, and if there's ever a book, I actually really want to get that. It's quite funny, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the webcomic even more so than the cartoon itself.
Yeah,
I actually think it hits some of the funny notes, the beats better. But I enjoy both of them quite a bit. It's really funny.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, no, I really, really like. I was surprised.
What's it called?
We Bare Bears.
We Bare Bears.
Yeah, bear like Beare.
Yeah.
Bare Bears,
Yeah.
and then and the comic is called The 3 Bare Bears. So it's slightly different title. Yeah, but it's really cool. I really like it.
My kids watch it.
I'll check it out. What's it on? Cartoon Network? Or
Yeah,
something?
Cartoon Network. Yeah.
So, Secret Wars. We've talked about it a few times now.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited to read the next issue.
There were delays,
Shit.
and then there were more delays.
More delays?
And now there's even more delays.
Oh, great.
Originally, Secret Wars number 6 was due out this week.
Again, exactly why I stopped buying the big books, because I can't keep track anymore, man.
It's now been pushed to October 7th. Issues 7, 8, and 9 are still scheduled for the last weeks of October, November, and December, but I would not expect those to hit those dates either.
So basically what they were telling us when they said these new books are going to come out between October and February is the fact that Secret Wars isn't going to finish until February.
It might. At this rate, it probably won't.
Okay, I have a question. Will Sandman Overture finish before Secret Wars?
Good question. Same week, probably. Infinity Gauntlet, 1872, Hail Hydra, Weird World, all slipped into this back half of September. Again, those are running about a month and a half late. Silver Surfer has gone to October. A-Force, Old Man Logan is end of October. Ultimate End is mid-November, and again, those may even be later. So, yeah, I've turned a bit of a corner on a lot of the Secret Wars books. I've actually I liked a lot of them. I liked a decent amount at first. I got a little critical on issue 2 and 3, but now that we've hit the end of a few of them, I've kind of actually turned a little bit on them, where I'm like, okay, this is for a little short story. This is enjoyable. So I'm not talking about the quality of the titles here, but just the delay and the shipping problems. And at this point, all the new titles will be out before it ends. This is a disaster.
Well,
and it's getting worse. I can't believe that Marvel's letting this happen.
This is the thing is
Would you want them to delay everything?
No, I want them to get other writers and artists and finish the book and put it out and have it out in like a couple weeks. Because it's an embarrassment.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back to Civil War again.
If you're taking the Mark Miller method of no one will remember in 6 months, we remember.
I don't know. I want a coherent story. Art style's not changing.
I want the companies to be held responsible for what they know is not going to happen. They knew this was going to happen. There's no way.
Well, that's one thing, but
yeah.
I would hate to have like a trade. Yes, the Mark Miller method where 6 out of the 9 issues are one artist and then one completely weird fill-in artist. I totally hate that. So I prefer waiting, but
you have a case of like Infinite Crisis.
As a store, I fully understand the waiting is totally messed up. So I see both sides of the coin. So
you had a case like Infinite Crisis where you had George Perez doing the art,
and
obviously it wasn't going to happen. So they brought in Dan Jurgens. They brought in Phil Jimenez. They brought in people that are very similar in style.
That's fine.
Asad Ribic's hard to copy, but we don't know who this is.
I remember when I know it's kind of weird to say this now, but when the Ultimate Comics or Ultimate Marvel stuff was still really cool, and then all of a sudden there would be total style changes.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the heck? Yeah. And especially on those hardcovers, I couldn't bear myself to buy them because 3/4 I really loved. The 1/4 I completely disliked. So I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah,
and it's hard on the store.
Also, Uncanny X-Men number 600. Slipped to November. That was supposed to be out in May.
Wow.
So
that's weird.
Who knows what's up with that? United States of Murder, Powers, Scarlet, and Brilliant. Those are titles by Brian Michael Bendis. Maybe you heard of them. That are now Brilliant's like 4 years late or something. This most recent issue.
What do you think is causing all that? Are these artists and writers doing other things? Too many things? Taking other jobs?
Bendis is doing
that's all Bendis. Those are all Bendis.
Oh,
and Brilliant.
Too many books?
I don't know. It's Mark Bagley's the artist on Brilliant.
Well,
and
he's fast.
Yeah, I don't know if they just don't know where to go with the story, or if they're.
It's just weird. I mean, I feel like this is coming more and more often that there's delays where I feel like in the past maybe there wasn't so much. I'm remembering wrong maybe, but it's just bizarre. I mean, seeing a movie pushed out a month for a year is one thing, but. Seeing comic books is like, what is it? I'm like, get some new talent on that really want to do this. Maybe people don't want to do this anymore.
Well, if you go early 2000s, there was tons of delays, and there was a big backlash against that, and the companies eventually kind of course corrected, and we were actually. Marvel and DC were doing really good for a long time, to the point where Marvel started double shipping all their titles, and people were like, "Oh, you can't even keep your one book a month on time. How are you going to go 2?" But they did, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like. Now we're having it's slipping again. Yeah. So, Justice
I wouldn't
League,
say it's slipping for Marvel. I'd say at this point it's free falling.
Well,
almost.
for a while there, a lot of artists were actually making more money in other venues, like designing and other video game stuff. Yeah, and so they were concentrating on other gigs in ways, right? So, in ways, either pay these artists more money, or I don't know. I mean. Or get younger guns that are willing to do this on a regular schedule.
Well, you've seen a few of the big books from DC, like Justice League. The schedule's all over the map on that. There's end of the month, and first of the next month, and end of that next month. Like, they move that around constantly. So, it does happen, but...
Okay.
And it was behind for a month, right?
Yeah, but then they caught up.
Yeah.
Anyways, it sucks. Move on.
Well, we got... couple new things that are coming out of the new 52. Sorry, coming out of the new Marvel books.
Okay.
All different.
Well, by the way, because last week I checked out the Star-Lord and Kitty book, and I actually quite enjoy it. I really like it. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was may have to actually buy the trade when it comes out.
Yeah,
or buy all your single issues.
That was a fun title.
Really, really cute. I really enjoy it.
We have a new character that's going to be premiering. Kind of new character. We have Spider-Gwen. And now the coming of Gwenpool. They did the
Can we just skip this topic?
No, they did a Gwen Stacy superhero month where they made like
Gwen Stacy into every superhero.
Yeah. So all these variant covers had all these.
This is just a weird internet thing that made that a reality thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy's just like the ultimate cosplayer of the Marvel Universe.
She is. So they had, her dressed up as all these other characters for all these variant covers, and one of them was Gwenpool. Well, within days, there were cosplayers, people were making fanfic stories of this character, and people were like, oh, Gwen Stacy was Spider-Man, now she's Deadpool, and Deadpool has that weird-ass community, and people really embrace this character. So in the new Howard the Duck comic, there was going to be a Gwenpool backup story, her first official appearance. So
wow.
If you want that Edge of Spider-Verse #2 with the first appearance of Spider-Gwen, that's like a $150 book now. Wow. Maybe you want to buy that Howard the Duck #1 with the first appearance of Gwenpool, like first story appearance. That variant cover that she's on, that was just like an order whatever you want. Mm-hmm. It's like a $50, $60 book now. Oh, so stupid. Wow. But Deadpool and Gwen Stacy, it's like peanut butter and chocolate. Just they go together so well, I guess. People love this character. And the other big story. Relationships always change in comic books, but there's one.
You already divorced?
Huh?
No.
Already. But one that is, even through, the literally the devil getting involved, but still somehow.
Let's not bring that story arc up.
But still somehow finds a way to kind of still pop up now and again. Mary Jane and Peter Parker. Pretty much, I think we're all positive here that she's got a new boyfriend coming up in the new Marvel Universe. One Tony Stark.
What?
Yeah.
She going for old man?
She trading up.
Or down?
Well, Peter Parker now runs like Parker Industries and is like he's his own like tech giant now in the Spider-Man comics. So not pre-Secret Wars.
But they weren't even together.
No, they weren't. But they're still.
This is weird.
Back and
There's
forth.
There's still chemistry.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel this feels filthy. Tony Stark's wiener and Mary Jane. That just feels filthy for some reason. I just...
Maybe she's going to be the new Rescue.
Oh, no, I don't know, man. That feels just weird to me.
Maybe she just wants to give her jackpot to a new tiger.
Oh.
Ha. Very funny, Brock. So, I don't know. That's weird, man.
Mary Jane Stark? Maybe.
That's bizarre.
So, we'll see what happens.
What happened to Pepper?
Don't know.
She moving over to Peter? They do a flippy floppy?
I was reading that Superior Iron Man.
Wife swap?
I was reading that Superior Iron Man book for a little bit when it came out, but I didn't. I just didn't stick with it. So
it kept coming out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just didn't stick with it.
All right, so it's Peter and Black Cat forever and always now.
Could be.
Not according to Amazing Spider-Man.
Could be. All right, I want to play a little game.
Uh-oh.
No,
I was a little scared of this.
There's a podcast I listen to called Go Nintendo. It's a Nintendo podcast. That
sounds like a podcast I should listen to.
You say it like with a high-pitched voice.
Is it Nintendo in the 80s and 90s? Because that was the best Nintendo.
No, it's just like current events and they do always
80s
do like
and 90s movies are
like
also
a
the best
podcast
movies.
version of Nintendo Power.
They talk about, well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's one of the big Nintendo sites online.
Cool.
And so what they do once a month is they have the people there guess the NPD, the top 10 selling video games of that month as judged by NPD.
Okay.
And I was going through and I was like, hey, we should do that with it's comic sales charts. I thought that'd be fun.
All right.
So I don't know if we're going to do this every month. We've gone over these all from time to time, but I figured we had a few less topics.
Well, one of our listeners is planning and plotting this a comic book creator fantasy league thing for next year.
Oh, I heard about that.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, this is going to be glorious. It's the nerdiest thing ever, but it's so awesome. Actually, I'm fully on board with it.
I'm ready.
Yes.
So without looking,
okay,
you guys, what were the top 10 comics for August 2015?
Top 10?
Top 10 as sold to North American comic book shops. I don't even know what
came out the last couple of months.
Star Wars is on the list.
Sold by North American comic shops as reported by Diamond Comics Distributors.
All right, Brockman, you go first.
Star Wars.
Which
issue
number?
8 is the number 2 spot. That is
Batman
correct.
is on the list.
Batman number 43 is the number 3 spot. You are correct.
Who took the top spot for last month? Is it this month? It's August, right?
August, yeah. So they're all Marvel DC.
Oh, I know.
So, actually, I take that back. There's an image book on there.
Oh, there is?
I do take that back. Yeah, there is an image book up there.
Justice League on there?
Justice League, number 43, number 8.
Okay. Did we get Secret Wars last week? Or last?
Secret Wars, number 5.
Okay.
The number 1 spot at an estimated sales of 204,000 copies.
Okay. Well, Vader's on there.
Darth Vader, number 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You're missing 5 and 6.
We need a whiteboard for
7.
this.
You got 8. You're missing 9. You're missing 10. 5 and 6 to the same title. It's a Marvel title.
5 and 6 are the same title?
Yep, 2 issues shipped last month. It's a character I was just talking about.
Oh, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows.
For New Year Vows, number 3 and 4. Brock's going for the sweep, Toby. You got to jump in here.
I thought we were taking turns.
I already thought I did 3
Issue
and 4.
number 3 and 4
okay.
are numbers 5 and 6.
6, okay. So we need 7, 9,
I was
and
waiting
10.
my turn. I thought we were taking turns back and forth.
No, we're supposed to
jump
we're
in.
supposed to fill out the list.
Jump
both
in.
Of us.
Oh, it's all right now.
Number 7, that's the Image title.
7 was the Image title from
Yeah.
last month? Okay, can you give me was it a number 1?
No.
Okay.
There's really only 2 choices.
Yeah,
what book this would be. So.
Walking Dead.
Of course. Walking Dead, number 145 is the number 7 selling title. Number 8 was Justice League. You got that. Number 9 and number 10, both Marvel.
Well, was Lando on? Did Lando make the list?
Lando did, number 10.
Jesus Christ!
Lando.
One more and I win.
Yep, number
Nothing.
9. It's a Marvel comic.
Okay, is it? It's not a Star Wars book.
No.
Okay,
No. Secret Wars title.
Civil War.
Civil War, number 2. Brock, 10 for 10. Look at that shit. He's got like fucking glasses.
Well, I
that can
thought we were going back
read through
and
my
forth. I thought
computer.
he was going to say one. I was going to say one.
No, just it's a jump in.
Yeah,
Jump in.
Oh, too late.
Sorry, Toby.
If we're going down looking for some number 1s, House of M, number 17. DC Bombshells, number 18, at an estimated 59,000 copies. That's impressive as hell. That's huge.
Especially for a digital book.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
digital
Our
first.
sales dropped pretty quick on that, but
It's not bad. It's okay.
no, it's all right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are pretty
Yeah,
typical.
that's why I said go first, Brock, because of all we're going back and forth.
Sorry.
Fight Club number 4 is the number 37 comic. That's Dark Horse's top book. Invader Zim number 2. That's the number 43 spot. That's Oni's top book. So some
This
okay
is all
stuff.
good cliff notes for when we play Creator Fantasy.
Archie number 2. Dropping in the 65 spot. Number 1 was like number 2 or 3. It was really high. That's Archie's
This is
top
the Mark
book.
Wade Archie?
Mm-hmm.
That's the Wade Archie?
Yeah.
Doctor Who, 4 Doctors number 1, number 74. That's Titans number 1 book. Book of Death number 2, number 76 spot. That's Valiant's top book. So those are some of your big guys. So some good comics. If you look at the total sales, do they have a total on here? I can't remember. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the bottom book on the chart. I don't even know what this is.
What?
I don't know. The bottom book is actually reorders of Archie number 1, but the second to bottom book, number 366, is from a company called Brilliance. It's a book called King number 1. I have no idea what that is. There you go.
How many
It's
sold?
an independent book.
2,861 copies. Oh yeah, I've never heard of this company. I've never heard of.
Go one up till we recognize something.
Well, I recognize the number. Oh, that's
3
weird.
to
They
the
don't
bottom?
have 365 in here. Oh, they're actually missing some numbers down here. That's odd. Maybe they just don't report every company. But yeah. So there you go. There's some sales charts. I figure a lot of times these books are, these issues.
Batman,
These
Walking
titles,
Dead,
Yeah, these titles would be
Justice
the same.
League. Don't change.
Yeah, some of these books won't change. But I think with all the new Marvel
Star
number
Wars.
1s, we'll get some interesting.
Well, what's hilarious about that list is every single Star Wars book, except for Kanan, was in the top 10.
Yeah. It's
Which means that
huge.
3 books. Because what's the total? Do you still have it up?
No,
So Star Wars sells like 100 and some odd thousand copies.
by itself. Yeah,
And then Vader sells probably
it's like 80.
80. And then
Lando was like
Lando's
70.
So it's like
60 something,
300,000 plus books
Roughly,
are
yeah.
just Star Wars.
Yeah,
Just
it's like a tenth of the industry.
yeah. Like
It's just Star Wars.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. And that Force Awakens book sold phenomenally well. For
I read
us.
it. It
good.
was actually really good.
Yeah, really good first issue. So, all right, let's hit up some questions here on Twitter. We got a bunch.
Bunch of Twitter
First
questions.
is from CrossX Hunter. His question is: you guys recording tonight? Yes, we are. Thank you for asking, Skip.
He was afraid you're going on a honeymoon right away.
No honeymoon for a while. Although we're going to take a little Disneyland trip this weekend. We're actually going to
I'm working.
where you are a rare
Yeah.
Toby Saturday. Come bug Toby.
Yeah. I'm like worse than Sunday Dave, or whatever the nickname is for the Sunday person.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like once every 2 years, Toby.
Yeah, less. It's more. I was going to say it's less than that. It's more than that.
I guess so.
My good friend Carlos Adama, who actually does some amazing cosplay photography. He's been doing this for a long time, so you go check out his cosplay photography. Just search Carlos Adama, you'll find it. He asks, how can you live with yourself?
How can he live with himself? I'll ask it right back.
I'm waiting for the subject material of what you're living with.
I don't know. He just asked, how can you... Because I asked for questions, and his question was, how can you live with yourself?
I'm going to assume it has to do with something in regards to Man of Steel.
No, I don't think so. I think he's just asking, how can I live with myself, so...
Now that you're married?
No, I think just how do I live with myself? And it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult every day.
He is difficult.
There's actually a couple comments about this, but CrossX Hunter does actually get the first one. He said, not a question, but make sure
on one podcast.
Make sure at Larson Bryce tones it down a little tonight. Last week was hard to listen to. Take away his booze. Did Bryce even drink last night?
Yeah, no, he was drinking
a little bit.
He drank a little bit, but the problem
Bryce is like me. He doesn't eat no booze. It's natural.
The problem is his audio level goes up really, really quickly.
I levelate that shit. It should be all right.
Okay, you might levelate that shit, but what that does is it goes.
But if there were some audio issues...
What was bad on Bryce last week?
I don't know. A couple of people commented to this. And
really?
I don't know. I didn't hear it. So I go through good chunks of the episodes before I post them. So
are we supposed to be more monotone?
If Bryce is too loud, you're too old. How about that?
Oh...
Those are probably all younger people.
Okay, yeah, I know. I'm like the oldest guy in the room. So, okay. Hiram has a couple questions here. He says, don't take the booze away. This is America. So there you go, Bryce. Drink on. But his question is, are those hip-hop covers, the ones that Marvel are doing for the number ones, going to be hard to get, like 1 in 500 variants?
And let me answer that. No, because you can pre-order them at Comics Conspiracy through Ryan Higgins.
There you go. I got a couple sets left. Not many. They're going to be sold. We will sell out, I'm sure, before the issue ship. So I've got I want to say about 6 or 8 sets that I can guarantee. I can try more, but at least guaranteed I think that's all I have right now that are on my initial orders.
So hurry up if you call in the next 10 minutes.
comicsconspiracy.biz. There's a pre-order page right there. Shipping in the U.S. only. We do have international shipping options, but international shipping is so expensive.
Well, and how many books is it?
Well, it's 18 or 19.
There's a lot of good hip-hop albums out there, Brock.
It's like 50-some-odd total. So, let me know ASAP. Because if you're...
It's 50 covers?
Total. I mean, over the course of the entire... All the sets. Yeah.
I'm going to make this harder to you. I'm going to give you a list. I want the De La Soul one. I want the Tribe Called Quest one.
No idea.
I want the...
Ryan's going to look at that and go, whatever.
Well, he goes like that with me anyways. I'd be giving him a list of books I want anyway, whatever.
Mark Long asks, do you think we'll ever see Midnighter on Arrow or Flash, the TV shows? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know.
I could see. I could see them in... Well, I don't know about...
I still feel weird seeing Wildstorm characters in the DC universe.
Well, my wonder is, do some of the Wildstorm characters have different movie and TV...
They could.
Rights.
Yeah, more pocket in Jim's pockets. I had more money in Jim's pocket, maybe. I doubt it, but...
I'm just wondering if there's some reason they couldn't use them, or it would be like
That's an interesting question, Dale.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they've had Midnighter in the Grayson comic, and they spun off in his own series, and he's great. So, I liked the character previously, but this is probably the best version of him.
Caitlin Fairchild.
Yeah.
And... Either versus either of those nerdy groups in Arrow and Flash.
Bring Gen 13 in.
I think the people from... Because it's Authority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the people from Authority might fit a little bit better with Flash.
Well, I think Arrow...
I mean, you could do...
For Midnighter.
Midnighter versus Cisco, man.
What about Caitlin versus Caitlin?
Oh, dude, it's going to be awesome.
But I'd love to see Midnighter in any of those.
Caitlin versus Caitlin. Oh, man. I'm done. See you guys later.
Stefano's got a couple here. He says, what defines a character's norm? I started thinking, and then I realized a lot of characters' norms today are huge deviations from where they began. So I wondered, when is a character given a specific definable identity? And Stefano's hitting on a question here that I don't argue the question. I embrace this question constantly. There is no such thing. These things change constantly. And if you are like, this isn't my character, you may be right, but it's not your character. These things change. You may not like it, but you can't stop them from changing. They may change back. They may never change back.
Harley's has changed a lot.
There's a lot of characters.
Nightwing has changed a lot.
There's a lot of characters that change that I don't like, but I find new characters to like. There are characters that, Green Lantern's a perfect example of a character that I had very little interest in, and then they changed him, not want to say dramatically, but they modernized him, brought some classic elements back, made a lot of significant changes, and it's the best character's ever been.
I don't think there's a norm to a character. I think there's this kind of essence to a character. Like, you need to have the kind of core elements, and they need to fall into place in the right way.
I think there's some
for individuals, like you said, like, this isn't my character, this is somebody else's character. No, that's fine. It cannot work for you now because those things aren't lining up for you. But in the future, it could work, and it lines up. Right? It's like Green Arrow. I mean, they didn't really deviate too much from his origins in when you started to read and enjoy his stuff.
Green Arrow?
No, sorry, Green Lantern.
Oh. No, I mean, they kept a lot of the classic elements, but they modernized a lot of elements and added a lot of elements. Yeah. So, every character has gone through such a dramatic changes from when they were created. It's rare that a character
Black Canary?
doesn't. Yeah, a lot of them. Very dramatic. And some stick and some don't.
It's
not just costumes.
A nose to no nose to back to a nose. Oh, no nose for feet and back to a nose.
To feral to a pushover.
Remember when you could shoot Wolverine and he would die?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was Wolverine.
Now he just spits out the bullet out of his skin.
For many, many years, if you shot Wolverine in the chest, he would have been killed. That is no longer that hasn't been the case for a while. But that was the case for a long time.
Like all the changes they've done to Darth Vader too, becoming a purple dragon. No, I'm trolling.
Purple.
Well, dragon. Superman only being able to jump. Oh, wait, they've kind of brought that back.
Yeah, well, exactly. Some elements always return, but yeah, no, they're even Peter Parker. He's his down on his luck character. He's a kid. That simple concept that became one of, if not the most popular characters in comics ever, or one of the most recognizable, has changed dramatically. He got married, he was successful, he's been through all this stuff, some of it changed, some of it went back, but I mean, Peter Parker has not been Peter Parker since like 1965. Yeah. Like, that character has changed, but people remember that core concept so well.
I mean, it could be, some people the tipping point is something as simple as a haircut.
Oh, people get mad whenever some characters have even smaller
remember Superman with that long mullet hair?
It's good stuff.
I want my barber back. Man, can you imagine Bizarro becoming super smart and taking over Lex Luthor? That'd be a story.
Yeah. He also says, Omega Men, no! Another DC cancellation thoughts. We already talked about a lot of this, but yeah. Buy those comics you like.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad to see the Omega Men go because it's been really good and really enjoyable. And out of all of the new ones that came out, that was one of the ones that I thought was, like you said, people liked it. Maybe didn't have the sales, but critically it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought Dr. Fate would get the axe before Omega Men.
Yeah. I don't know why they choose one thing over another, but there you go.
Well, it's Levitz. They have to give him a certain amount of issues.
They have to. He's like the Chris Claremont for Marvel.
You have to give him a certain amount of issues. It's in the contract.
Yeah. I can't rock the boat too much. Cross 600. He's got one more on here. He says,
third time's a charm.
He says,
motherfucker gets a hat trick on this episode.
He said, any plans to talk about all the comic drama from today?
What drama?
No.
What drama? What drama? What's he referring to?
Go look up Nathan Edmondson, former writer of Punisher and upcoming writer of Red Wolf. It's the new Marvel comic.
The hell's a Red Wolf?
He's an old Marvel. He's one of the old Native American Marvel characters that they're bringing back, kind of like Scalped meets Civil War.
The Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Jim Jokish character.
What?
A Jim Jokish character.
I'm sure he likes Red Wolf. Yeah.
That sounds something that's up his sleeve.
Go look up this guy. Lots of interesting drama from the last few days.
Ryan spent about good 30 to 45 minutes just staring at the computer, reading about this today. And I'm like, what are you reading about? Nothing.
Well, here's the drama. Some people are assholes. The end. You know?
Okay.
I mean, there you go.
Cool. Fair enough.
Was there other drama we didn't hear about? Or
No,
just that one?
that was pretty much it. We got 2 comments here. First is from Richard. He says, don't listen to this guy. Bryce needs a mandatory keg in every episode.
Wait, what? I saw I blanked out for a second.
He says, don't listen to Cross-X Hunter. Bryce needs a mandatory keg every episode. And
good thing he didn't specify what size keg, because there's mini kegs.
And Liquid, classic Geekbox internet troll, replies, Bryce, please kick the rest of these lame-ass nerds off your podcast.
Yes.
So
that includes me. See you guys.
Hashtag Team Bryce. Hashtag Team Loud Noises. So there you go. Pick your side. Civil War. Richard has another question here.
Civil War.
That'll be the next movie commentary.
Civil War.
Yes.
Richard does have another question here. What is your most anticipated comic book movie of 2016? It really shouldn't be a question because we all know the answer.
I tell you.
Batman vs. Superman, Captain America, Civil War, Deadpool, Suicide Squad.
No.
Or other.
Other.
What other?
Creed, it's coming out. Oh, wait, that's not 2016.
Or is X-Men Apocalypse is next year too, right?
Yes.
I think so.
I'm so
Is that all
excited
of
for
them?
Creed. I'm so excited for Creed. I'm so excited for Creed.
Is that the Image,
Rocky 7.
Is that the Image comic? Is that the one that,
it's Rocky 7.
No, that's not a comic book.
Yes.
That's Rocky's a comic book movie?
Sure. It's about a dude punching another dude in the face.
Is this a real thing?
I think Toby just wants to let everyone know he's excited for this.
There's a new Rocky movie?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, a spin-off called Creed, Apollo's son.
Nice.
Oh, it looks so good. New trailer came out. I'm so excited.
Well, of Batman vs. Superman, Captain America Civil War, Deadpool, Suicide Squad, and X-Men Days of Future Past. Or X-Men, sorry, Age of Apocalypse. Or no, it's just called Apocalypse, right? It's not called Age of Apocalypse.
Are we including the Star Wars movie?
Is that everything? No, it's not.
Star Wars is this year.
Is that everything?
No, there's one next year.
Rogue One's next
Rogue
year,
One,
yeah. Is that all the comic movies next year? That sounds right. Am I missing one?
Hold on. It's got to be more Marvel.
Well, we have Deadpool in February.
That's Fox.
March is
well, of those ones, of course it's Batman vs. Superman.
Suicide Squad.
It's not even a question.
I'm excited for
You're
everything.
excited for that Batman movie.
I'm excited for Civil War.
Because before it comes out, they'll probably just cut the V Superman off of it and just call it Batman Dawn of Justice.
Just shut up.
Because they're going to cut his part down anyway.
Just shut up. I'm
Don't be angry because I'm being honest.
No, you're not. You're being stupid.
No,
I'll be honest. Batman vs. Superman and Civil War are probably my two big ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And equally.
I'm very excited for Civil War.
Yes.
But
I'm excited for
Batman
Civil
and Superman, no question.
I heard Civil War is going quite dark.
That should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's going to be cool.
Alex has a pair of questions here. He says, when was the last time the comic gods handed you a gift? For example, I ordered a hardcover of Batman and Robin for a real good price online and received it in good condition, signed by Peter Tomasi.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
I remember looking for Planetary hardcover, I want to say volume 2 or 3?
Yeah.
The green or the blue one?
I can't remember which issue. Like, I somehow missed when they initially released the hardcovers. I remember I missed it, and those went out of print really fast, and they weren't a fortune, but it was like, oh man, I don't want to pay like $40 for this thing. Like, what a pain.
Yeah.
And then I just walked into Book Buyers down in Mountain View, and sealed copy sitting on near used shelf for like $6 or something.
Hell yeah.
It wasn't even open.
Hell yeah.
No,
yeah.
I think yours was the Legion archive.
Oh, the Legion was good, but someone sent that to me. I didn't come across that.
But that's the God smiling.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know who's my god?
Who's that?
You, Ryan Higgins.
Oh,
Do you know why?
Why?
And when?
when?
You really don't remember?
Nightwing?
No?
Which one?
Birds of Prey number 8?
Oh, that's what I meant. Birds of Prey number 8.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You made my day and still do because of that one book, man. I'm forever grateful.
I literally have not seen a copy of that book
Dude,
since.
I'm forever grateful, man. I love that book.
Birds of Prey number 8 is the first date/kiss of Oracle and Nightwing.
Yeah.
And that book is worth a fortune.
Yeah, and I am forever grateful. I think you didn't even tell me. I walked in, he goes, hey, I got a book for you. And they were like, just busted out. I was like, oh my God, I've been looking for this for ages.
I rarely see that.
I really wanted a second one so I could bind it, but now that hopefully the Birds of Prey are just coming out in trade, the one issue will be my gold issue, man. It's going on my wall. I'm going to have there's going to be maybe 3 or 4 books I'll put on my wall one day, and it's going to be the Gambit #1. I'll be the Birds of Prey #8 and Nightwing #1. I think that's going to be my little collection that I'll put on the wall.
I don't know if I ever told this story in the podcast.
Yeah,
I can't remember if I did or not, but it's been so long. So any sort of I don't know. I think it's okay to tell at this point.
Yeah.
So many years ago, I bought a collection of comics for some random guy that walked in.
Yeah.
And
is this Avengers related?
No.
Okay.
Just a small box of books, nothing special. Gave the guy maybe $20 or something like that. It was totally random stuff. And I don't know. It was like a long box. Maybe it was like a long box or something like that. So I go and I start opening the books, and one of our friends, Jeff, who you know.
I like
was
Jeff.
here, and I just said, "Hey Jeff, help me open these books, just because you're not doing anything." So he starts opening them, and our friend Jeff is very weird, and so he was like
likable weird.
He was holding the front of the comic bag, and he would just like rip the bag down. So instead of taking the comic out of the bag, he would like tear the bag in half, just because, like, I didn't need the bags of boards. They were all gross, old-ass bags. We're just going to throw everything away. So he's doing this. He tears a bag, and $500 and $20 bills and $100 bills.
Wait, I kind of remember this now.
Fly into the air, and we're like,
Jeff just made it rain.
And we pull the next bag, and like stuff inside this comic. It's like another $500. So, I don't know who this guy was. I never saw him again. He never came back looking for these books. Like, we don't take names or, it's like maybe he stole some. Maybe this was like his high school collection, and it was his drug money he left in there, his money from selling weed or something that he hid from his parents. I have no idea. No clue, but.
And how much did you pay this guy?
Oh, I don't know, $20, $40 or something like that. I pulled $1,000 in cash out of these comic books.
Wow.
So that is the gods handing me a gift. So.
Wow.
Yeah, just weird the books it was in.
Yeah. It was just like nothing. It was just like
I'm watching this guy's listening to this podcast and come back tomorrow and he's like, where's my money?
You don't remember what it was?
No, I don't.
It was Deathmate.
Was it Deathmate?
Yeah, it was the Deathmate.
God, I don't
comics.
even. Yeah.
I think it was spread out over all of the, 4 of them.
I thought it was 2 issues, but maybe it was all 4. I don't remember. But yeah, that was. This was like a decade ago or something like that. It was years ago.
Yeah, because every time I open a Deathmate book in here, I'm like, do we have money?
Double check.
Do we win the comic book lottery again?
Yeah, I don't really have any of those stories.
When you lost my copy of.
No, I was like, I figured I'd find it eventually. I did that I knew.
My Sandman hardcover. Alex actually asks another question here. He says, do you like your trade paperbacks to collect as seamless stories or to divide by the single issues? Meaning, like, the covers in between and everything. I actually like the covers in between.
I do, too.
I like to have a good stopping spot.
I do, too.
I think
and I love cover art in general, too.
Yeah, me too.
I think having the cover art in there gives you, again, 1, a good stopping point, and 2, it kind of allows you to see... oh, well, this is where it ended. Because, I read Walking Dead in trade, and they don't have any of the covers.
That sucks. Walking Dead has some great covers.
In the
They don't even have them in the back?
Nope.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. So, for the trade paper...
I know that. I'm just... Yeah, that sucks.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But when you read Walking Dead as a trade... You can kind of tell where the issues end, but you can't really tell where they end.
Well, it's the last splash page. Like every last page of Walking Dead is like it's like a splash page. So.
Yeah.
Or not every, but the majority of them.
But, for the most part, which ends up whenever I read it in trade, I'm like, well, I just got my Walking Dead dose, so I don't have to worry about it for another few months.
Yeah.
But, I think they should do the covers.
Yeah, they should. All right, we got a pair from Talio here. First, he asks, can Bryce at least admit that the Man of Steel soundtrack is amazing? And that I don't think he can argue with. Man of Steel soundtrack is brilliant. Really good.
It's just really cool. I mean, it's hard to improve on a classic, right?
Yeah.
From the original. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the new one pays enough of a homage and spins something so new to it that I think it works both ways. So I really like it.
It's good stuff. But he also asks, what do we hope to see in the new seasons of Flash and Arrow, which start in about a month? So
I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see lots more Caitlin, a lot less of everything else, and more Black Canary. The old one.
Old one. We didn't talk about They revealed the costume for Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Oh, that looks lovely. It looks really good.
I think they look cool. A little too brown, maybe.
I think it's fine.
But it's a cool look.
The only problem I have, on the photo, to me, it seemed like Hawkman's helmet just was a tightly little too small.
Yeah. It's not like a huge head thing.
It feels kind of small. And then same with Diggle's helmet. I feel like it's just like it's weirdly shaped and it doesn't fit his head really visually. Yeah. But maybe it changes. My buddy Lord drew them out as little figures already, and they look really good. Actually, his version of them look really. I mean, based on the photo,
right?
But he had the details on in the helmet, and it actually looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for those guys. I know there's a Flash. I think today put up a bunch of images from the first episode, but I'm in shutdown mode.
I think they announced today that their stunt coordinator gets a direct episode this season, so I'm really excited for that one.
Big action episode?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, knowing who is in charge, so
yeah, we'll just give him the all drama, all talking episode. Stunt your way out of this.
I am excited for those to start back up. I didn't watch Fear the Walking Dead episode 3. I was a little busy this weekend, so we'll catch up on that. And what else is starting soon? Shield's starting soon.
Flash and Arrow. 3 weeks.
A couple weeks off, yeah. So getting close.
We'll have Supergirl coming
up.
That
time. Supergirl's run the same time. Gotham soon.
Yep.
Very, very soon.
Villains Rise, apparently.
Person of Interest is the show I'm waiting for.
Oh, I need to start watching that.
Dude, it's so good.
By the time it finishes, I'll start it.
I might finish the season, dude. I'm a little worried because I only ordered 13 episodes this season, so it's not a full season for the first time. But that show is so brilliant, man. Yeah. It's a slow cooker, though. You'll watch it and think it's one thing, but it's totally not something else entirely.
Nice.
Yeah, I started watching Longmire Season 4. Came out on Netflix. So I think it was on A&E.
Is that one of your hillbilly things?
I guess if you consider a sheriff in Montana.
I don't like to agree with Brock, but it's got Lou Diamond Phillips in it, so I like the show.
I know.
No, Season 4 has been really good so far. So I think Netflix is going to be the place where TV shows go to continue and go to, die eventually when they're supposed to, not...
Did we talk about the Jessica Jones?
The trailer, no?
The opening. I'm assuming that's opening credits, right?
Yeah, that's opening credits.
The Higgins credit?
Yeah.
Someone likes you at Marvel.
Yeah.
Even though you bash Marvel all the time.
I'm sure it's...
We better throw him a bone so he starts talking good about Marvel books.
I'm sure it's not me. There's other Higginses in the comic industry. I'm sure it's not me. It'd be great if it was me. It's a great comic. I mean, Alias is an amazing comic.
Yeah.
Like legit. Concerned if Speedball makes an appearance in the show, though. I would assume he wouldn't. He's in the Alias comic for a couple issues.
You don't want him to?
It'd be cool if he does.
I think you would want...
Depends how they play him.
Hold on.
Because they play him kind of as a buffoon in the Alias comic. I gotta ask you something.
Would you rather have Speedball introduced in Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, or Luke Cage, Power Man, right? In those types of shows, or do you want him introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, there was talk of him being on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know.
At one point, yeah, there was. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that. That may be this upcoming season. I have no idea. If I remember it correctly, because I haven't run Alias in years, Speedball was basically going after these like mutant growth hormone dealers and like MGH. It's like
the X-Men have to deal with that drug like every 40 issues.
They steal genes from the mutants and give it to humans, and they get superpowers. And there's a concept in the Marvel universe. It's ran through a bunch of their books, and
it was even in the Ultimate Universe too.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And Jessica Jones was like kind of trying to do something similar, but Speedball was like all bumbling and kind of fucked everything up. And so I was like, it's Speedball, but it's you kind of messed everything up. Damn you. But
so where would you prefer him introduced?
Well, it depends what they do with him. I mean, I'd probably rather in Jessica Jones, but they play him for a fool. I wouldn't want him in there, but that would be accurate to the comic. So we shall see. I mean, if he's in S.H.I.E.L.D., then it's good. That's fine. I don't know what they would do with him, though. He's actually kind of badass in, it's not 2099. What book was it? He was in one of the...
Speedball?
He's one of the Punishers.
In the same sentence?
Yeah, he's one of the Punishers in Secret Wars books. What book was that? Oh, I just read this, too.
It's a book that you don't get. Is it Battle World?
No, it's not one of the anthologies. Oh, what book was that? don't think it was Marvel Zombies.
Oh no, you're was it Civil? It wasn't Civil War, was it?
No, but he's one of the Punishers.
Hold on, which one is it?
Which is like Doom's kind of task force to go out. So he's Speedball, but he's Penance kind of in attitude, but Speedball in name and look. But it's like the older Speedball with like the long straight hair and the trench coat and everything.
No,
so it's good stuff.
Is Castle running the troops, or is he not a Punisher right now?
I mean, they're just called the Punishers.
Okay, so is Castle around?
I don't think he's in it. No.
Okay.
No.
I can't remember what book it was.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I remember liking that, though. I was like, oh, hey, it's Speedball. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Before we do, we got to thank a few people here from Patreon. If you want to donate to us on Patreon, patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Go there and you can throw a few bucks our way for our recording, give these guys, actually make some cash money on this podcast thing. We heard people like to pay for content, so go pay for some content. But if you don't,
be more content.
But if you don't, that's also okay.
It might help provide a keg episode for Bryce.
Oh, great. You just took all our money away now.
No, an episode that he's on. He's only on like once in a while.
Definitely want to get another Bryce briefly next time he's on, so we'll look for that soon. But we got to thank Albert Soy. He's got that app, Plant Everywhere, on iTunes. Don't forget to check that out. Jody Lawson, he's working on Canon, the Triad Comics anthology at triadcomicsstudios.com. Definitely go read those comics, support those guys. And our good friend Julian Titus over at the Nerds Without Pants podcast.
Pants.
Nerds Without Pants.
No pants.
At pixelbit.com.
No pants.
Keep it pantsless.
That's for Scott Shea.
And if you guys want to get something pimped on this podcast, if you want to hear your name, if you want to talk to us, send us some questions, patreon.com/comic, the Comic Conspiracy.
Have they gotten that?
Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy.
Has Patreon got it fixed where you can actually add us so we can participate?
No, I mean, so in theory, Patreon is set up.
Donate $1, Brock. It goes to your pizza anyways. That you don't eat.
Patreon's set up for Q&As and stuff, and I've had Q&A threads on there, but we don't get too many questions. A lot of it just goes through Twitter. But if you're on there, you always can send us a question. We reply to everything. We're more than happy to answer it, even if we don't answer on the podcast. So,
do you see that if you're a public figure, you can live stream now on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
Or
Stephen Amell does that all the time.
Yeah, and then there's Periscope that can live stream now, and there's this other app. I don't know. Maybe in the future.
Periscope an episode.
Yeah.
Watch us stuff our face with nothing but cakes
we'll
from
kill
the
each
wedding.
Other. Yeah.
All right, guys. Don't forget to listen to. Don't forget to go and visit geekbox.net if you want to hear all our previous episodes, as well as iTunes. Go on there, rate, review us. We always like that.
No pants.
Forums.geekbox.net or the Geekbox and Comic Conspiracy Facebook group. That's where you can talk to us and all our other listeners. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. That's our Comixology digital site. Go on there, support the store by buying your comics online. We all have other things we like to do. Brock's got conspiratorbrock.com. It's digital pull lists. Or his video pull list, sorry. Charlie's got the Infinite Long Box. Man, I just cannot talk here at the end. The Infinite Long Box podcast. And Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension, which is why he's not here tonight, because he's off watching Doctor Who in 3D at the movie theater. I
almost went too.
That
but I couldn't
finale.
leave you post your wedding episode.
What's that?
I couldn't leave you on the post-wedding episode.
It wasn't that good.
If we ever do a Conspiracy Infinite crossover, we should call it the Infinite Conspiracy. An Infinite Conspiracy episode.
I'd love that if this guy's on.
Yeah.
Ryan Higgins, Ryan. That's me on Twitter. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity in Chaos. Go at us. Talk to us on there. The Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brandon, the All Talk Podcast. Those are other little podcasts in our network. Make sure to check those guys out as well. That should be it for this week.
There's one more thing.
What's up?
Toby teased something last week.
What's up?
What?
Toby teased something last week.
What just happened right now?
What did he tease last week?
What just happened?
We had a little audio from the Higgins v. Bryce.
Oh, yeah.
Higgins v. Larson Man of Steel commentary.
Yeah.
We'll try to do that someday.
Sooner than later, hopefully.
It was a great trailer.
Sooner than later, yeah.
go on the Facebook group?
It took me like 2 weeks to edit. Well, on off time during breaks and hidden away in my office when nobody knew what I was really doing. I shouldn't have said that publicly, probably.
Go on the Facebook group. Go check out that trailer.
Yeah. You'll find footage of both Man of Steel trailer 2 and 3, and the clip in the bar and the clip where he clips someone, and BVS, and then Avengers 2. And then it has clips from Comic Conspiracy episode, I think 209, and like 3 other episodes.
And one episode where I hit my head on a shelf and gashed my head open.
Personal iPhone footage, of Ryan bleeding on the floor, having to take him to the doctor. Maybe not as severe as I'm telling it right now. And Bryce
hit my
running
head
for president.
really hard.
No, you did a good job on the trailer, Toby.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
go watch that.
Yeah,
all right,
get TV cons out, and so we can force Ryan to do this.
Yeah, like it, comment on it. Pressure Higgins.
Oh yeah,
Bryce is already on board.
We're gonna do it.
Bryce started it.
Yeah, we'll find some time to do it. All right, guys. We'll catch everyone next week.